Hey everybody, welcome back to theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Again, that website address, if you don't already know what it is, it's www.theclinicaltrialsguru.com. In my opinion, the best place on the internet for clinical trial content and information. I always say this, but keep the questions coming. I will keep you anonymous, but you will get an answer. And if you don't want to be anonymous, mention it, and I will give you a shout out. So today's video is actually from someone who will be anonymous, and it's regarding budgets. So like everyone's favorite subject of budgets. It says, I have a question regarding a budget issue. We are currently conducting a study where we are paid for 2 screen fails for every 1 patient randomized. I have 1 patient randomized and just had my 2nd screen failure. Would it be wise to try and renegotiate the screen fail ratio now, or should I screen my next patient in hopes that they qualify? So you'll probably be surprised when I tell you this, because I'm always the first one to tell you renegotiate your budget as soon as possible. And in this case, I would actually say go ahead and try to screen and try to randomize, because sponsors are more likely to renegotiate more favorable terms if you can prove that you're doing a good job. And by good job, amongst many other things, which I've discussed in other videos, one of them is randomizing more patients than you screen fail. Or if you have a 2-to-1 ratio, meaning 2 randomizations for every 1 screen failure paid, that you maintain that. And having 1 randomization so far and 2 screen failures already, I mean, you're gonna have to take that chance. You're way too early in the ball game to be trying to renegotiate. I mean, you can try, but I would suggest do a really good job at making sure that your next screening is a randomized subject. So it's very important that you do a good job at pre-screening this next one. And let's say this next subject gets randomized. It's a very good idea that your next one, even after that, ends up being randomized instead of screen failed. And you can't always control that. I mean, sometimes these things are way beyond our control. But you can do a good job of pre-screening, and just do as good of a job as possible when you pre-screen, and just show the sponsor a couple of successful randomizations before you try to renegotiate that, because they negotiated that. The sponsor put that ratio in there for a reason. They don't want to pay so many screen failures. I mean, they're going to lose money. They're going to waste a lot of money doing that. So if you can randomize, and I don't know what your enrollment cap is, but let's say 10, and you're going to negotiate for another 10 subjects, just as an example. At that point, when you renegotiate again, you can ask for a more favorable screen fail ratio. But for now, you're kind of stuck where you are, from my experience. So, I mean, if anyone else has different experiences with this, go ahead and feel free to chime in, leave comments. If you're on YouTube, leave comments. If you're on the blog, please leave comments. Let's start a discussion on this. In my personal opinion, anecdotal evidence from years of doing this, I would be the first one to tell you try to renegotiate, but in this case, I would tell you to just do a better job at pre-screening and making sure that your next subjects are randomized, because sponsors are much more likely to renegotiate your contract and actually say yes to your request if you prove and you have a track record of doing a good job. And again, that means randomizing more subjects than you're screen failing. Hopefully this helps. I want to give my Clinical Trial Guru producers a shout out. Sarah Elizabeth Siegler, Resolve Research Solutions, Accurate Clinical Trials, Erdhart Clinical Trials, PTNR, Patrick Stone, Darshan Kulkarni, Biopharm Systems, Zymewire, Mozio, South Coast Clinical Trials, Breakthrough Clinical Trials, and St. Paul Medical Research Center in Miami, Florida. If you want to be a Clinical Trial Guru producer, let me know. Send me an email, dan@theclinicaltrialsguru.com. It's $99. For a lifetime membership, I'm only accepting 100 people, and that's it. Once it's done, it's done. So hopefully this helps answer your question. Contrary to what you may have thought I would say, because I'm usually very much for renegotiating your contracts and your budgets and making sure that research sites have favorable contract terms. In this case, I would say you've already negotiated your budget. It's way too early in the clinical trial for you to be making those kind of requests now. But prove yourself, and they will most likely be more willing to listen to your uh, listen to your requests. So hopefully this helps. This is Dan from theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Take care.